Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me okay? Okay. Well, welcome. I'd like to thank Chaplain Whitney for choosing me for this opportunity to give the invocation for this year's Founders Day celebration. I'm honored to stand before you to ask for the blessings and to give grace for this event. I stand here representing one of our many faith groups here on campus called Student Movement. I'm one of the presidents alongside Mikey Sabinano. I'm ever so grateful to be here at this moment with you all. So without further ado, let us humbly bow our heads and our hearts. Creator of life, we come before you today in celebration of 131 years of growth at Agnes Scott. We begin by giving you thanks for another year of harmony with our community. You are the source of all that is good, so we ask that you fill this space with your love and happiness. We ask that you bless those we honor today, who have made Agnes Scott over the years a safe space for learning and a home to leaders. We ask that you bless us in developing who we are in our own spiritual paths. We ask that you bless us with the strength to take what we've learned here and make the world a better place. Help us to look to the past with appreciation and to the future with hope. We ask for continued guidance as we take our steps here and outside of Agnes Scott, knowing that wherever we will go together as a community of Scotties who are with us now and who have come before us. We thank you for our moment of celebration today and ask for your continuing blessings in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Lisette, for those beautiful words. Welcome, everyone. Happy Founders Day. Happy Founders Day. All right. For those of you who are just visiting, I'm Lee Zach, and I am proudly the president of Agnes Scott College. Thank you. It's great to see so many people today at our Founders Day celebration. Last year's celebration was such a success that we decided to follow the same format again this year. This is Founders Day by our students, for our students in our community. It is their very special gift to our students and to all of us today. So can we begin by thanking all of the participants for what they're doing for us today on Founders Day. I'm delighted that there's so many students here today, but we also have amazing guests and visitors. I understand that the Parents Council was meeting today and some of them are in attendance. Could you please rise and be acknowledged, members of the Parents Council? We're also happy to have with us many alumni who are joining us for Founders Day. Alumni, could you please rise? Even those who work with part of the college, could you rise to be acknowledged? Also thrilled to have our faculty and staff with us today. They are such an important part of what makes the Agnes Scott community what it is today. Can we have our faculty and staff members stand? I know I see some in the back as well. Could you stand to be acknowledged? And I'm going to ask one group to stand again, and that is the President's Cabinet that has been so instrumental in advising me. If we could have members of the President's Cabinet please stand. Well, this certainly is a big weekend, especially for our sophomores. We will have the sophomore ring ceremony tomorrow. Congratulations to all of our sophomores. Can we give them a round of applause? I know that we have parents here who are here for tomorrow's ceremony, and we're delighted to have you. And we are so excited about celebrating tomorrow our amazing Incredibles. So looking forward to tomorrow as well. We, as you all know, are here for a very special day. We celebrate Founders Day close to February 22nd, which is the birthday of George Washington Scott, who is the benefactor of Agnes Scott College. He was one of a team. It's no surprise that it took a team to found Agnes Scott College. He assisted by providing funding for the land that we stand on today, and that was the first seminary for girls and later became a college. He wisely named the college for his mother, Agnes Scott. She was an immigrant from Ireland. I am proud to be wearing today her family tartan, the Irvine tartan. Are there members of the Scott family with us today? I think I saw Betty. Please stand to be acknowledged. Thank you so much. We have quite a celebration for you this afternoon, and we are thrilled that this is a program by our own Scotties. I know our current students are going to make change in the world, and I know that because I also have the opportunity to see our amazing alumni, one of whom you will hear from today. And our students are actually already making change. I'm happy that you will hear from them in their own words and in their own voices. After today's program, we will have time for refreshments and partying, and I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank our students for being the amazing inspiration that they always are. Enjoy the program.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Phoenicia Battle, and almost 20 years ago, 20 years, I stood here in what was the brand new Austin Campus Center, nervously hovering the microphone in this same hub during the talent show that weekend. That was what was then called Sophomore Family Weekend. We were getting our rings. And I wrote a poem that talked about my journey from 1999 to that moment. It was called All Aboard. Not my best work ever, as I had just begun my journey writing performance work. But today, with a few revisions, I'm going to read that short poem that meant so much to me then, now 20 years later, as a graduate student of Agnes Scott College. I had been in search of something, and that weekend I found it. So happy Founders Day. We'll call it All Aboard 2.0. I was wrong side of the tracks playing grown-up girl, backed into a corner of hard knocks, weighing my opportunities against doubtful mentors with fractured skulls, a certain consequence of gender and race ceilings feigning non-existence. After lobbing fists at invisible oppressors, I dog-eared my edges and dysfunction for a shot at higher learning, booking through goody two-shoe, marching to the heart of my own beat, aching for what more than street smarts and pipe fantasies of open-handed invitations to belong. I fled with a one-way ticket from my big, small city, headed to the world for women, where progress was the norm, not the exception, in hopes of learning something greater than my enormous imaginings of scholarly chit-chats, bygones, and bread-breaking tables, with enough place settings for justice, bridging ignorance with liberation, where siblinghood has had 100 years to get it right by now. Right? Wrong. My siblings returned to their corners of the world. Diversity and unity lost touch somewhere between first and second semester. Devastating Atlanta doctor prophecies, prescriptions of inalienable civil rising on our character rights and falling on our similarities resist. Our inherited divide and the shortcomings of our predecessors. Here lies a rail-thin line between leaving and going. Every decision laying tracks between who we are and who we become. Where the only difference between us and trains is whether we are running from fears or toward our dreams. My siblings and I had to agree. Some things are better left behind. And we have. Somewhere between summer and our second year, we earned that tiny black stoned bridge that connects us all. Common ground we build on and stand for something other than the silos that separate us.
Oh my goodness, you guys are amazing. I have butterflies in my stomach every time that I come and share with students at Agnes Scott, and I just wanted you guys to know that I feel so lucky to be here. My name is Yehimi Cambrón. I graduated from Agnes Scott in 2014 with the Red Foxes. Thank you. Red class? Okay. And I'm an artist and an activist, and I do a little bit of public speaking. But when I come here, I get extra nervous because this place just means so much to me. And I'm here to share why that is. So, I found out that my being undocumented meant what my being undocumented meant when I was a sophomore in high school. And I entered an art contest hosted by the Georgia Commission on the Holocaust in remembrance of the 6 million Jewish people whose lives were taken away. I won third place, and I was gonna get $50. And at that time, as a high school student, I thought I was gonna secure the bag, $50. I was invited to a ceremony under the beautiful golden dome of Georgia's Capitol building, and proudly attended with my teacher, my mom, who is here, and my little sister. All the winners were recognized with the certificate in front of everyone, and our pieces were exhibited alongside each other for everyone to enjoy after the ceremony. At the end of the celebration, my teacher asked us to sit tight as she went to claim my prize. She returned empty-handed and told me they couldn't release the $50 because I didn't have a social security number. And I felt ambushed. My undocumentedness disoriented me. And I don't recall if I even said one word. I did not at the time have the skills to fight back or the words to articulate why this felt so wrong and to stand up for myself. But Agnes Scott gave me that. After that shattering experience at the Capitol, I walked away feeling like a failure, as if something was wrong with me. It took a great deal of convincing and affirming from my teachers and mentors that the undocumented kid, who couldn't be compensated for her third place worthy talent, actually belonged in a place like Agnes Scott. Because that's the story that was forced onto me. I later learned at Agnes Scott that that's what you call internalized oppression. I also didn't know at the time that Agnes Scott was named after Agnes Irvine Scott, a Scots-Irish immigrant, to honor her courageous life. At Agnes Scott, I took classes like Women's Studies with Professor Hackett, Foundations of U.S. History with Professor Kane, and U.S. Relations with Latin American countries, and I finally started putting the pieces together of my lived experience. I understood that undocumented is a status that was assigned to me at 7 years old when I crossed the U.S.-Mexico border as a result of push-pull factors that my family had absolutely nothing to do with. Being undocumented wasn't my fault, and it wasn't my parents' fault either. I learned that the many times the U.S. turned a blind eye on unauthorized immigration was when it was convenient, and how that connected to the demand for free, cheap labor in a country that was built on colonized land and on the backs of human beings that were forced into slavery. I learned about the systems of privilege and oppression as a birdcage, a system of interconnected wires that work together to marginalize specific groups of people based on their identity, things that they could not choose. And I realized that if our oppression was interconnected, we had to reach across intersections in order to achieve our liberation. In my art classes, I was a studio art major, I learned how to use my artwork to reclaim immigrant narratives and to create spaces of solidarity that assert our humanity, our beauty, and our power. I learned to activate art as my platform to show the world that we will not allow our immigration status to define us, that our dreams transcend borders and policies. I see my time at Agnes Scott sort of as an act of resistance. Because in a state like Georgia, where anti-immigrant policies make it nearly impossible for undocumented students to access higher education, here I was learning. Agnes Scott gave me my greatest weapons, and this should be the norm for everyone's education. A basic understanding of my humanity, the power to articulate that, and the ability to work intersectionally in our movement for social justice. There are moments when I feel like I don't have any more fight left in me. But then I remember that I am a Scottie and that I have an army of warriors in those of you in the audience and many more that are out there trailblazing, getting in good trouble, and making the world a better place. And that gives me hope for the future. Thank you. I can go on and on, but I'm not going to hold you here for hours. Thank you so much for allowing me to celebrate this special legacy with you all today.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Fellow students, faculty, staff, alumni, and guests, I would like to thank you all for coming today to commemorate this very special occasion. This year, Agnes Scott College celebrates its 131st anniversary. That is truly remarkable and undeniably exceptional, for this institution has paved the way for Scotties to reach their fullest potentials. Since 1889, Agnes Scott College continues to be a national and well-respected leader in educating students native to the United States and countries abroad to engage in the intellectual and social challenges of their times. My class in particular, the Valiant Visionaries, consists of tenacious, ambitious, and forward-thinking students that have utilized their resources here to propel them into positions of power, influence, and expertise. Coming from a multitude of socioeconomic backgrounds, ethnicities, and nationalities, my fellow visionaries represent 131 years of academic and social progress. I couldn't be more proud of them and the astonishing work that they have done in propelling this institution's mission and values. I cannot even begin to detail or quantify the extent to which we have grown here at Agnes Scott College. Some of us discovered lifelong academic and intellectual passions, thereby strengthening our competencies in a myriad of subjects. Some of us learned to thrive in a competitive academic environment, a crucial skill for adapting into professional life. Some of us acquired invaluable relationships, thereby enhancing our social networks in this increasingly globalized world. Me, you might be wondering, I discovered that I should never be ashamed for being in the minority. You see, being in the minority is a unique position to be in because it is neither mundane nor outlandish. It's all about a matter of perspective. The role grants one the often grueling and arduous task of battling against the common idea, the accepted belief, the mainstream discourse, the undisputed truth of reality. And I've come to kind of relish in it, quite frankly, as it's kind of molded my persona and image here at the college. From discussing the sustainability of global health policy to debating the role of government, my courage to confront the conventional has only blossomed during the duration of my academic experience. So take my health economics course. Now, this course is painstakingly difficult, but is fascinating nonetheless. According to our readings, our health decisions are founded on two predominant ideas: uncertainty and asymmetric information. Now, uncertainty implies a certain level of risk, and the information in the market is not always evenly dispersed to everybody. Now, you might see that this might be a negative result of the market, but I would argue on the contrary. Applying these ideas to everyday life, uncertainty leaves open the opportunity to explore for and discover new markets that have yet to be capitalized upon. If one settles with the current advantages of an already established market, where is the opportunity for growth or expansion? The same idea applies to information. Possessing uncommon knowledge is a commodity because it can be used to justify different perspectives and different ideas, thereby opening the possibilities that were not previously imagined and thereby creating solutions to domestic and global problems that have yet to be solved. These are the tenets that Agnes Scott has bestowed upon me. I don't want to live in a world where everybody agrees. I think life would be pretty dull, to tell you the truth. So while matriculating through each and every year at Agnes Scott, I have come to appreciate the challenges and even admire the individuals whose opinions are different from mine, while also encouraging others to bequeath to me the same courtesy. The beauty of this institution is that it motivates you and it inspires you to go against the grain and fight for what you believe in and to be the leader of a cause that you believe in, even when you least expect it. I suppose being in the minority kind of forces that out of you. I suppose that is what the minority is. I suppose the minority is the result of accidental leadership. Why work the assembly line when you can be the industrialist? Why be in the herd when you can be the shepherd? Why ask when you can simply do? Agnes Scott College taught me that it is okay to stand alone as long as you are standing for what you believe in. Agnes Scott College taught me to never allow someone to think for me, to never let myself to be trod upon, and to always hold myself in high regard. People will throw stones, but there is nothing like being in a fortress that you have forged on your own. Thank you, Agnes Scott College, for the invaluable lessons you have taught and will continue to teach me. I sincerely look forward to the amazing opportunities you have in store, for I am certain that they are quite visionary. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So before we start, I want to express how honored I am to speak at the 131st Founders Day here at Agnes Scott and represent my undergraduate class. I hope today I can inspire you about the future and what's to come. That being said, I would like for you to take a moment to think of one single word that would describe your future. Now, what if I told you that 65.6 million individuals in this world don't see themselves as having a future? And out of those, 293,000 are right outside this door. These individuals are ones that have no access to education, were forced to leave their homes and now labeled as refugees, and so on. Instead, they depend on our future to help them get through life. For me, the one word that summed up what I see in my future is hope. When I was considering colleges 2 years ago, the last college I visualized myself at was Agnes Scott College. For me, Agnes Scott was a college that was small and it was laid back. I did not like the idea of having less than 1,000 students on campus, and I especially did not like the idea of an all-women's college. But I was very wrong, because Agnes Scott was the best decision I could have ever made. For the past few years, I have been working with refugees both globally and domestically, primarily focusing on the two aspects of healthcare and education. With the many catastrophes going on in this world, I was losing hope of the refugee crisis being solved. However, the moment I stepped foot onto Agnes Scott's campus, I knew that all hope wasn't gone. Agnes Scott is a place filled with diversity, it's a place filled with strength, and it's a place filled with success. Every friend I have made and every teacher I have formed a relationship with inspires me to be the best I can be. Each individual here on campus has the potential to become something great. We all have the potential to become something great. and to make changes and make a mark in this world. Agnes Scott provides us with opportunities that no other college campus provides to its students. Through the successful professors that mentor the students to the many leadership skills and lessons being taught, Agnes Scott allows us to amplify our personalities and motivates us to carve out our future in a way that we can accomplish all our goals. In this way, we certainly have hope that our future will be bright. More importantly, Agnes Scott has allowed me to continue to grow and be hopeful through its location, its tutoring systems, and its global journeys. Decatur is one of the most diverse cities in Georgia. However, I think of Decatur as the heart of the refugee settlement. Becoming an Agnes Scott student has allowed me to be in closer proximity to many refugees and to form continuous relationships with them. In addition, it has led me to become part of many refugee support organizations. Agnes Scott's numerous components and unique traits allows it to stand out in the city of Decatur, making it well known to all of its citizens. This gives me hope because the individuals are familiar with the student success rates at Agnes Scott College and the potential they have to do the impossible. Further, Agnes Scott's tutoring system, located in both the Resource Center for Math and Science and the Center for Writing and Speaking, is second to no other academic support resource at any other college. The tutors are the most dedicated and successful across all disciplines. Along with helping students with assignments, studying techniques, and professional development, the tutors serve as built-in mentors, aiding them with everyday life and academic obstacles. Some of my closest friends and advisors for my coursework and off-campus activities are those tutors in the tutoring centers. Moreover, I believe that the number one unique trait Agnes Scott has to offer to its students is its global journeys. The journeys allow students to develop leadership skills and global citizenship curriculum through the providence of global educated professors and hands-on experiences. The leadership skills the students learn will forever remain with them as they apply them outside of school to real-life situations. For example, throughout my leadership class, I learned about the importance of determination, the importance of structure, and the importance of unity within any organization for it to become successful. I have applied this to much of my refugee work, which has allowed me to accomplish much more with aiding the refugee crisis. More importantly, the leadership traits that Agnes Scott students acquire through their time here give me hope that it will help them become victorious and conquer their goals and aspirations throughout their lifetime. Using the resources Agnes Scott provides to its students sets us up for success. To all the students here right now, don't take what Agnes Scott offers for granted. My experiences here at Agnes Scott have allowed me to regain hope for the future for myself. I work hard for the future so that those 65.6 million individuals that I had mentioned earlier will see hope in their own future. And I know that the individuals graduating from this campus will help set the pace for those classes to follow, as they will be an example for how Agnes Scott has helped form our futures. Each and every one of us will work hard to make a change for the better. I encourage you all to take the skills and relationships you have learned from on this campus and use them in the real world to make a difference and exceed to be the best you can be. Keep that one word you used to describe your future earlier in mind and work hard to accomplish it, because the future is ours and Agnes Scott is on our side. Thank you.
Hey, how's everyone doing today? I know we're waiting, but I hope everyone's doing great. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Taylor Arnold, and I am the president of Joyful Noise. Please feel free to clap your hands and sing along as we sing the good news.
Good afternoon. So my name is Briana Barnett, and I currently serve as the SGA president this year.
Good afternoon. My name is Amira Daugherty, and I was last year's SGA president.
So today we have some spoken word for you. If you remember last year, we presented a similar poem, but this has a little spin on it, so I hope you enjoy.
Here we go again.
We were here last year, and yet,
Just like Main Hall, we look the same.
some things have changed. She's an alum.
She's president of SGA, and we're both going to law school next year. God help us. But for all the change, we still have the same foundation, Agnes Scott.
Let's start with a shout out to the class that made us so incredible.
You mean like Elastigirl Incredible?
You mean like DreamWorks could never incredible?
You better believe it. To the class of 2022, this is an early welcome to the Black Ring Mafia. As you cross the stage tomorrow,
think of all the Agnes quirks that brought you here.
like promised rings and chicken wings with fries that cost you extra.
That Dana's haunted, but the ghosts are there for your protection.
That cobblestone will break your bones if someone doesn't catch you. That journeys took you round the world to help you find your best friend.
That breakfast is worth the meal swipe even if you're running late.
Support all of your siblings because we're what makes Agnes great.
And once you join our Onyx Club, you'll always shout with glee.
That Mafia is for life, so welcome to our family.
Now back to our campus.
How about we go building by building?
Let's start with Maine.
Okay, Austin.
Where the same tracks played at 2 p.m. every day. Billie Jean, Before I Let Go, and anything High School Musical.
Where the familiarity is echoed in the hugs of our advisors. Where Molly's fires light up our spirits and warm our hearts. On to Bullock. We don't go there. Political science is a real science. Change my mind.
But for the future Mary Browns out there, we thank you for your service.
Okay, now Buttrick. The stairs of death.
The unusually fast elevator.
And all of our favorite professors.
I think that building checks out.
Presser. You mean the building of the bagpipers?
That's the one.
Where together we sing the songs that march on for centuries. What about Campbell, the Hilton of Agnes?
Where the walls are as squeaky clean as Rebecca floors are creaky.
Home of the CWS tutors who always save me.
Thank you all for being our unsung heroes and curing our anxiety.
Dana, with a winter theater that really lives up to its name.
You really know how to keep things icy.
From your temperatures to some of the coolest performances ever to grace a stage.
What building did we miss?
You know the one. Evans Dining Hall. We have 4 words. We still love you.
We still love the workers we call family, those who no longer work here but we contact daily.
We still love the memories we make with each plate and the friends we have yet to dish up. We still believe
that this is a symbol of how we can and are doing better.
That the worst is gone and the greatness is still to come. For all the roasting, we still believe
that on this campus we will have greener grass to look forward to somehow.
We still believe that at the same time each spring the flower petals will parade down to greet the midterm season. We still believe in #1 innovation. We still believe in taking on the challenges of our times. We still believe in our siblings old and new. We still believe in Agnes Scott, and we will never stop.
Wow. Woo. A round of applause again for everyone. I want to thank you all. This has been another memorable Founders Day. Thank you, Lisette, for the fantastic job you did with the invocation. And every one of the remarks was outstanding. Yehimi, Alexis, Noor, Phoenicia, Briana, and Amira, the chorale, Joyful Noise, you all were absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for the amazing gift that you have given us today. And I also want to thank the wonderful directors, Brittany Boykin and Nathan Grigsby, for their hard work in the preparation for today. And thanks to David, the accompanist. Thank you very much. I also want to thank Paula Henderson for ringing the bell today to gather us, and the CSI team for putting this all together, and the CNM team and the President's Office staff for their work. Also Aramark, that is for their cooperation and for helping us with the Founders Day lunch today. And I now ask all of you to look at your program, and we are going to sing the first verse of our hymn, God of Marching Centuries. And after that, we will go upstairs for a celebration. And for the singing, I am going to step away from the microphone. It's in everyone's interest. Again, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you upstairs. Thank you.